presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions.
Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown, Oregon.
He gets loose. Fires. Hit! Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is a new season on the Oregon Sports Network for the Oregon Ducks. We have Oregon soccer kicking things off next week, if you believe it. Oregon volleyball, Big Ten Media Days are going on, and today is Oregon Football Media Day here in Eugene. I'm Joey Mack. I hope everybody had a great summer. I did. I'm ready to be back in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by our friends at OnPoint Community Credit Union. Chris Clayton is here, back for another season. You heard Kelly Graves' voice in the intro. You also heard Chris's voice in the intro. It feels like the first day of school. Everyone looks around and checks out the new shoes, maybe a new haircut for everybody, and that's what today feels like. And we're going to talk with Dan Lanning today. We're going to talk with a number of Oregon football student athletes, including Poncho Lalulu, Bryce Bcher, Kenyon Sadiq here live on Duck Insider today. Some honors announced by Oregon Athletics, including one for Jerry Allen. We'll tell you about that. Devin Jackson, Kyler Casper, Isaiah World, Dylan Thieneman, among many other Ducks talking with the media today. We will have a slew of interviews today, tomorrow, and Oregon football practice officially begins on Wednesday. We will have it for you here on Duck Insider. Great to be back with you, everybody. So much happened over the summer. If you missed it, a couple additions to coaching staffs. Of course, the recruiting trail is always fun to follow during the summer. But here are the takeaways. Ducks are in a good place. Ducks are coming off a year where they won 8 conference championships, and I think everyone's excited to be back in Eugene having something to look forward to. Competition on the various fields of play across the University of Oregon. Dan Lanning was at the podium a little while ago, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, and right before he went to the podium, we talked with him here in the Country Financial Studio. The view from the head coach, Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning. You know, as he walked into the studio, I just said that it feels like the first day of school. That's how media day always feels to me. Does it feel that way to you, Coach? Like, does it kind of have that vibe of it for you?
Walkthrough does. Meetings do. Media day, not so much.
So what's media day feel like? What's the comp for, like, the school, like elementary school?
What was the class that you didn't like?
Ooh. Well, God. That's a good question. It depended on where I was in my life. I think the age-old thing is that journalism majors can't do math, so I think I have to say a math class, like calculus. I would have hated going into that section.
I don't hate it, but it's not like when you get excited to go to PE.
Yeah,
right? There's a difference.
And PE was my favorite class.
The part with the players, that's the part I enjoy, seeing them back in the building, get to spend time with them. That's what is exciting about going into fall camp.
To that point, I joked even before we sat down, like, I'm going to try to ask you some things that are different from when you're just at the podium. I mean, you get asked a lot of questions, Coach.
Right.
Like, has it gotten easier? Has it gotten harder? Is it the same from when you first became a head coach, getting all the questions that you get all the time?
It's certainly probably easier, right? Yeah. Just because of volume and the amount of time that you spend answering a lot of things. I think you figure out really quickly what do you want to answer and not.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I understand. Well, as an interviewer, I often then think about, okay, well, what should I ask you? Well, I got to ask then a couple fun things off the bat, if I could. Well, there's no secret. You look around, you see some big old yellow cranes around here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
some fun
pretty
construction
exciting.
happening.
Yeah. How's that impacted you, the team, and also the future that it brings with having all that construction?
Well, it's a little bit different from our practice regimen as far as space and where we use, where we practice, because we've obviously had the benefit of having a lot of fields outside that we've been able to use in the past, and now we're a little more limited. We're practicing in Autzen Stadium or practicing in the Mo Center. And that's changed things just a little bit. So a little bit more creative with how we use our field space. But once it's done, it'll be untouched. There'll be nothing like it in the nation.
Yeah. So I wanted to unpack that with you a little bit if we could, Coach. I mean, just the plan of it, the excitement, even bringing the construction and what it's going to look like. What does it do for you long term?
Well, for us, everything's about teaching, right? It's the ability to say, how can we make this the best process possible for our players? And this will be the best teaching facility in the country. There won't be anything that really touches it when it's your access and your ability to go straight from a meeting room into the indoor, the location, to be able to get from the weight room to the locker room, really quickly, nutrition, sports science, all those things will be touched in this building. And then just the downtime for our players as well. So it's going to be a huge upgrade in a lot of categories. When you're talking about unbelievable facilities already, really taking them to another level.
Well, I feel like you're talking about flow. Right? I mean, that's what it all is. And I know you really value, and I asked this knowing even just what you said before, like the players are what you're all about. I mean, just the spending time with the players. Why is that so important to you, Coach? I mean, now that you've done this.
Yeah, they're the ones that play the game, right? And you want an unbelievable student-athlete experience for our guys, and they work their tails off, right? So how can we be the staff to create efficiency for them with their time? These guys get pulled in so many different directions, and football's a huge piece of that, but we want to make sure that we're really aware of their time. How do we use their time? And then we want to make sure that they feel really comfortable in this building. This is a place that they want to spend time at.
Yeah, it's certainly college football looks a lot different now than it did 5, 10, however many years ago. I mean, I know that's been a huge subject matter for you. Like, as someone who I would say, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but you've embraced like where college football is going. Just what's your take on that right now with student athletes, their time, getting pulled all these different directions? Like, how have you approached that as a coach?
For me, ultimately, I had a coach that I coached with for a long time, Chris Ball, and he always talked about red light, green light, right? Sure. And so many people you catch in life, they focus on the things they don't control. You don't control the weather. You don't control the things you're not in charge of.
Sure.
I want to make sure that we have the approach that we're able to attack the things that matter, that we can truly control. And I do think we can control that experience for players. I do think, we don't make the rules right now in college football, but we can complain about them, right? Or we can adapt and be the best at them. So we try to focus on the things we can control and then be ready to pivot when necessary.
Yeah, makes sense. We're talking with Dan Lanning. It's Media Day. So now we'll get into the questions that I'm sure you're going to get asked about 50,000 times over the next, hour and plus, and then throughout camp. I'll start here. Just what are you excited about, Coach? I mean, starting camp.
Yeah, I always love touching the grass, getting out there on the field with our guys, getting to see the meeting room carry over to the practice field, and then eventually, a game and the opportunity to solve new problems, right? This is a new team. We got to figure out what we're good at, what we're not. I'll get asked a lot, like, where are we at right now? Well, I don't know, right? That's what practice is for. So I'm excited to figure out, okay, this guy had a great summer. Is he going to carry over to the football field, right? The way to motivate our players, keep them engaged and focused on, what's at hand each day. Those things are all exciting me. I enjoy coming to the building and working with the people I get to work with. So all those things excite me.
You talk about unique problems. Every team presents those, but that being said, I mean, you got to like where your roster's at, right? I mean, just what do you think heading into it? Where's your roster at heading into the game?
We talked about this a little bit with our staff the other day. In the first year, you're kind of adapting to some of the pieces you have. You're going to cook a meal, and there's pieces on your team that you didn't necessarily bring here. You're excited they're there, but it's different. Last year is the first time that we really felt from top to bottom, we had a roster that we'd really pieced together. Guys that we had, a lot of belief in that fit what we believed in, same values. And now we're kind of going into that second year of having a team of guys that we've brought most of them here. I think there maybe are 2 guys on our team that were here before we got here, and they're unbelievable pieces to our team. But being able to see that come together, come to fruition, and be able to grow it like it's your product now, that's a lot of fun.
Something that I feel has resonated with me, particularly in the spring, is guys that you brought here that are talking about those values of your program now, and it's not like a prompted thing, right? Like it's just ingrained in them. I guess my question with that is, how proud are you of that facet? Like the guys that have kind of taken on the personality that you want them to.
Well, I think they've created that, right? And that's great testament to them and how they work. They come in here and they have a mindset and a standard of what it's supposed to look like. So year 4 looks a lot different than year 1, right? When you're doing a drill, when you're taking the field, when you're watching film, like all those things look a little bit different. Those are about standards that you have to establish. The difference now is that the players have established those standards. I hear our players now talk about running on the field and them owning the values of what it looks like to practice at Oregon.
Sure. Everybody always wants to know about the quarterback. How's the quarterback room, Coach?
Good, yeah. No, I like our group. We've got guys that bring different dynamics. You got several guys that I think have experience here now. Now, not necessarily game experience that the fans have been able to see, but a lot of practice experience that we've been able to see. And they all have different strengths. They have a really good feel for our system. I think there's some new wrinkles that we'll be able to add this year, regardless who's back there for us. But I've got a lot of confidence in those guys and excited to see what they do over training camp.
I want to go through just kind of rapid fire with you some of the position groups, Coach. How about running backs? So you got a lot of weapons there.
Yeah, a ton. And, that's where it challenges you to say, okay, what are some things that we can do different, with this position group when you have so many guys that you feel like can play above-the-line football.
Right.
And, again, we have to identify what that above-the-line football is. But when you feel like you have weapons, you want to make sure that you're able to utilize them.
I'm going to go to the tight end group, partially because Kenyon Sadiq's going to be in here in the studio today. I mean, that's a guy you talk about that's taken on the personality of the team. He seems to have done that.
Yeah, he's he's never been the most boisterous guy. He's been a guy that's kind of been about his work, but you see leadership traits starting to show up in Kenyon that I'm really excited about. Even the way he takes the field, things that I used to say about T-Ferg, now I'm saying those same things about Kenyon. And obviously he's a dynamic player, adds a lot of elements to our offense and what we're going to be able to do.
How about the depth of that group too?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously Roger was down this past year, was a really dynamic player for us early in the season, and got hurt there late to the end. So this spring and summer has been, about him kind of recuperating and getting back. Feel like he's in really good shape right now and going to be able to push. Added some pieces like Jamari Johnson.
Yep.
JJ, I think he's going to be a big piece of what we're able to do, and then have some young faces in there as well. Zach Grace, some other guys that have been in that room and done some good things. So it's a younger group, but a group that I have a lot of confidence in.
How about your pass catchers, wide receiver group?
Yeah, this will be one to see who steps up, right? There's a lot of guys that were playing meaningful snaps for us last year that aren't here next year, but we feel really good about the talent we have in that room. Some real veterans, too, that know a lot of positions, that can do a lot of things, whether that's like a Gary Bryant or a Justice Lowe. And then some guys that are going to have an opportunity to take advantage of, what's in front of them, too, with some young guys also.
In the trenches, offensive linemen. I think subjectively the best interview group on every football team.
Yeah.
So you talk about media day, there's always a lot of good personalities on the line.
No doubt.
What do you like about that group?
Well, I think this group has a ton of talent. You look at, we had a great group last year. Obviously, they were Joe Moore Award finalists. They had a lot of success, but it's a different room. And the part you can't take for granted is the experience that they had, the intelligence that we had with guys like Josh and Johnny last year on the edges. Like, we have some great players that are here, now, and we got to figure out how those five pieces all fall together. But they aren't going to have necessarily the same experience or the same exposure to our system. So how quickly can we get them caught up and ready to roll?
On the other side of the trenches, your D-line. And you talk about similar, right? Some new faces and some guys that have been around the block a time or two for your program.
Yeah, I think you look at our edges and you say, okay, these guys have a lot of experience. They've done a lot. Obviously, you lose a guy like Jordan Birch. You lose that, and then you lose a couple guys inside with Derek Harmon, Jamari Caldwell, guys that played a lot of snaps for us. Like, that's where we're going to have to figure out exactly where we're at early in fall camp, is that interior defensive line. But I feel like we have the people there that can do it right, and some guys that worked really, really hard this offseason to put themselves in position.
How about to the next level? Bryce Boettcher is going to be in the studio today. I mean, you got to be happy to have that guy back with
Absolutely.
that entire unit.
Yeah, and, Bryce and D-Jack have both had a lot of experience there for us. D-Jack's been a little bit limited this spring and summer, but feel confident that he's going to be able to do some stuff for us this fall. And then you got guys like Jerry and some of those younger guys that are really stepping up now that have the opportunities. And we lost a voice in that room with Jeff. He was a great communicator, but now you have some guys that are going to be able to step into that role and some guys that can really make plays.
How about in the secondary too, Coach? I mean, talk about the voices that people knew and heard from a lot. There was a lot of them last year in the secondary.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be brand new faces across the board, really there. And some guys that had experience, limited experience for us last season that we feel like fit the traits that we're looking for. We have a longer, faster, really a deeper unit in that back end that I'm excited to see who steps up.
All right, now the specialists. I've said this before, Coach, that one of my, I think an underrated thing about football is punting. I love a good punter. You talk about that. You bring in some new faces, specialists in general. What do you like about your special teams this year?
Yeah, and the cohesiveness of that unit, right? The connection to that unit. These guys spend a lot of time together. We might be doing inside run at practice and they're doing something else, right? Specialists are always a little bit different, but the way that these guys work together, they're all competitive. They all want to play. I think we have guys that have performed at the highest levels, and performed in really big moments, whether it's Atticus making a big kick or Boyle kicking off a guy on the front line on onside kick. Like, we've had a lot of different weapons that we've utilized. Same with the punt game. So it's a place we're always looking for competition, a chance to improve, and I think that can be a winner for us, come season.
All right, we've covered a lot. A good fall camp means what for Coach Lanning this year?
Well, growth. I got to see growth. You'd love to walk away healthy, right? But there's a level of play that has to be executed, a level of toughness that we've kind of made a signature for us that has to show up in fall camp, and really just a narrowed focus, on what we're improving. And every day you walk in, it's like there's a lesson plan.
Right.
What are we improving on today? What are we attacking? What are we trying to get better at? And I think we got a bunch of guys that are wired that way, so I'm excited to see it come.
Well, Coach, thanks for going through the gauntlet with us. We appreciate you taking the time. Best of luck all camp, and here's to some good questions.
Appreciate it, Joey.
Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach. It's like calculus. When we come back, Poncho Lalulu is going to join us. We go rapid fire, live interviews here. It's Oregon Football Media Day on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider. It's presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union in the Country Financial Studio for the first time. Welcome, Poncho Lalulu, to the set.
Let's go.
Thanks for being here. You're the first student athlete on Media Day. So, like in the baseball terminology, you're the leadoff hitter, man.
Oh, no.
You're setting the tone.
Oh, shoot. I mean, that's what we got to do, Eric.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Okay, so we were just discussing during the timeout, and I got to let people inside the broadcast a little bit. I think that offensive linemen are often the best interviews on any football team.
Hey, that's an honor.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Do you agree?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you can say, yeah, you're right, because like you said, we're kind of selfless, and that's just how we were brought up in the position that we'll play. We don't get as much credit, but at the end of the day, when the team goes and the team wins, we did our job.
Yeah, y'all push something forward.
Exactly. You're setting the tone, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're setting the tone, When did you realize – well, actually, okay, I can't ask you this right now. So we have a tradition, Poncho. I didn't warn you about this, so you got to bear with us. Look, if you can see through the lights on that whiteboard over there, we got the 2-minute life story.
Right.
Okay. No, this is competitive.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to time you.
All right.
Tell me your 2-minute life story, and the goal is to be as close to 2 minutes as possible. We'll see if you end up on the leaderboard. You ready?
Yep.
You mark, get set, go.
All right. My name is Iapani Poncho Lalulu. I am one of 10 kids. My father is Ope Laloulu. My mom is Lesieli Laloulu. I am of Samoan and Tongan and Fijian genealogy. I was born and raised in the project homes of Kuyo Park Terrace in the beautiful island of Hawaii. From Honolulu. I started playing football in the 3rd grade. I was playing at the park with a bunch of kids. My uncle said, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to go play some real football?" I'm like, "I bet, let's go. It should be fun, Yeah. I'm a big kid, running over these little kids. But I went to practice and realized it's more than just running the ball.
Right.
You got a condition. And that's why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. But then I fell in love. Grew up, went through it. Started playing some rugby, so I was playing football and rugby. And at one point, my parents told us to make a decision that am I going to play rugby or am I going to play football? And then I seen football as a way to give back, and I've always loved the NFL. So after that, I went through my whole process throughout middle school, and I just remember I got offered by Oregon in 8th grade. And then I went, and then the new coaching staff came in, and they re-offered me. Then yeah, man, I ended up here in Oregon, and I'm going into my 3rd year.
Minute 22.6.
Oh!
Hey, you were efficient, though. That was good to the point. Go, go, go. I mean, so now after a few years in the NFL, it's easier to get close to 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Right? That's the plan.
That's right. That is the plan.
A little bit longer, right? Okay, family. I know you've always struck me you're a family-oriented guy. What's your family mean to you?
First and foremost, I'm a big faith guy as well. Over the years, I've been growing up and coming into college. My faith has grown a lot, and it's all thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and He plays a huge part into why I'm such a family man, and also then to my parents too. My parents are such loving and caring and respectful people, where I'm from. Everybody knows my parents. We've over the years, my mom and my dad have taken in. Like some young adults or people whom I know that could be also like my siblings or like family who aren't even blood related. So seeing like people coming in and being raised up as me when I was a little kid, speaks a lot of volume to why family means a lot to me. So, family is a lot, like I said. So
I feel like hearing Coach Lanning even just today, we were talking about how he focuses on community service.
Yeah. Coach Lanning is a big family guy too.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Coach Lanning and the staff that we have here. They're so big on family oriented.
Yeah, that's cool to hear. All right, now I have to ask you the question that maybe you've been asked about 50 times in your life. How often do you actually get called Iapani today?
I'm not gonna lie. Not that much.
Yeah.
A lot of people call me by Poncho because they can't pronounce my first name.
How'd I do?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was spot on. Yeah, that was spot on. I give it to you. That was spot on.
Yes.
A lot of people can't pronounce my first name, so I just tell everybody, just call me Poncho. And then when people ask me like, is that like your name or is that like a nickname? I'm like, no, that's on my birth certificate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Poncho's on my birth certificate. That's like my middle name. Or like nickname.
So it is the middle name. Okay,
yes,
I didn't know that. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I think recently I just found out that name Poncho came because I know a lot of people been waiting.
Yeah.
Because whenever people are like, oh, where did you get the name Poncho? I think that name came from, I guess, my grandpa. Because I'm named after my grandpa. And there was like a wrestler back in the old, like way back. He used to watch wrestling, and he used to like this wrestler named Poncho. So I don't know.
So there's your origin story.
Yeah, I guess that's my origin for everybody who's been wondering where I got the name
know.
Poncho.
Yeah, because so when you introduced yourself, in the full name, I was like, okay, now I gotta know, because I don't hear it around the facility. Like I never get like, oh yeah, Iapani's gonna come out to practice today.
No, yeah, a lot of people just call me by Poncho. It's easier to say, quicker.
Yeah, well, and you don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I mean, if everybody call me by Iapani or Poncho, at the end of the day, I know who's calling me. If they call me, I'm like, oh yeah.
But now, if you have, after a very successful NFL career, it sounds like now you've got connections. You could go the wrestling route if you ever wanted to.
Shoot, hopefully, man. I love WWE too.
See?
Shout out to my guy Marcus Harper who was here last year. That dude is a WWE dude, man. Like we used to talk about like the bloodline, like Roman Reigns, and how the whole Samoan dynasty right now is in the WWE. We would just like clown each other throughout practice.
Harp and I had this conversation actually briefly one time just about his love of wrestling.
Yeah,
because he's a performer. You know that guy.
Oh, that dude is, I don't know. He's we call this Mr. Aloha. You know, he knows everybody, can talk. He loves that. That's what we call it back home. He's like a Mr. Aloha dude.
Every now and then I'll just get a text from Marcus Harper that's like, Joey, how you doing? And he's genuine. He wants to know.
Yeah.
That's what's I think cool. Poncho Lalulu joining us. How was your summer? What'd you do?
I mean, summer was great. I loved it, working out with the guys. But this past week, I went to San Diego. I went and spent time with my girlfriend and her family down in San Diego.
Got to do it.
Yeah, we had a surprise graduation party for her older brother.
Cool.
So just having that, and then I went to Disneyland for my first time.
First time.
And let me tell you, I've never walked more than 20,000 steps, 14 miles ever in my life like that. We did both parks. So we went to Disneyland, California Adventure, Disneyland, California. Like let me tell you, I ain't never did 14 miles walking like this or going on everything. But at the end of the day, it was fun just being able to feel like a kid again. And just seeing all the things you used to see growing up, on TV. Just seeing, like Mickey and
what was
everybody.
the best ride?
My favorite ride was the Incredicoaster. It was, I guess it's like this. It's fun. It was over there in California Adventure. It was fun. So it was awesome just being able to have that time with my girlfriend and her.
That's cool.
Her family.
Look, you got to have some unwind time, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it gets to be that way because you guys are now entering the grind. So you've been through this.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What makes a good camp? What's a successful camp for you?
I mean, just everybody just having fun. I mean, I know it's easy just to think of the most worst case scenario at all times, and that's just human nature. And that's something Coach Lanning kind of talked about. We don't want to fall into that human nature.
Yeah.
We got to push and break through that wall of human nature. And, just having fun with the guys, because at the end of the day, these are the group of guys that I'll go to war with every single day. Against any team in this country, I'll go with my guys.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this. I know we're going to have you back in the studio.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like Poncho could just do this part. He can take my chair, and then we'll let him interview people like Bryce Bcher, who's on his way in. Okay, but serious question. So we do the coaches show every night, and I'm going to ask Bryce this too, so now he's got some extra time to think about it. What question should I ask Coach Lanning at some point this season?
I don't know, man. That's boss man. That's the boss man. It's like even when you talk to Coach Lanning, you gotta
you sit up straight.
Yes, coach.
Yes, coach.
But nah, Coach Lanning, he's a loving dude. We can joke with him and have fun sometimes. But when we're anywhere between the white lines, it's
Don't you love that though?
You gotta get locked
honestly, because I see that at practice, and I'm kind of that way. I would hope Chris, who's sitting here, would tell you it's fun, but then when we're on the air, no, we got stuff to do.
Oh yeah, it's business.
Yeah.
There's a time and place to have fun, but then there's a time and place to lock in.
Well, if you think of anything, all right, you just sometime throughout camp, just pull me aside and say, hey, I think you should ask Coach about this. If you think of anything, all right?
Okay, I got you.
All right, Poncho,
yes, sir.
You're the man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, Bryce Bcher is going to join us, a guy that when he was last in the studio, I don't know if he thought he'd be back in the studio anytime soon. We're going to talk with Bryce coming up next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 1159 PMPT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 1159 PMPT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio with one Bryce Bcher, who is back. He made his debut in the studio on what we thought might be his final Coaches Show appearance. Then the way that the world works, he's back and now getting ready for another season of Oregon football. So I say that out loud. And we were just discussing during the break that you've been asked every question under the sun now after going through Big Ten media days.
Yeah.
But what's that feel like? I mean, just I'll say it this way, Bryce. I think that today always feels like the first day of school for people like me because it's like all the media members are back and there's coverage and excitement. And Coach Lanning said that's kind of like how walkthrough feels for him with you guys. Like, what's it like getting a bonus first day of school for you?
It was. Today was energetic. We came out for a run and guys were jumping up. The energy was high. Walkthrough was awesome. And it does. It feels like the first day of school, except I like football a little more than school, so
I get
it's
that.
even better.
I get that. So Coach even said, he's like, I look forward to PE class, right?
Yep.
Was that your favorite class growing up, PE?
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, PE.
I feel like that's everybody's answer.
Yeah.
I think I get it. Okay, so I'm going to ask the hard-hitting, truly hard-hitting question. So I'm curating questions, okay, that we asked Coach Lanning on the Coaches Show at some point this year. You got any? What should I ask Coach Lanning on the Coaches Show this year?
See, I was pondering it. And like Poncho said, he is the head man, so you do have to be careful.
Yep. I don't have to tell him it came from you.
But if there was one question you got to ask him. If you were to put on the pads for one day, Coach, what position are you playing, and who do you want to hit? I don't know if he's going to answer that question, but it's a great question, I think.
I mean, and look, it's not – I'm sure we all got people that it would be the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? I mean – I imagine as you have your list, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I got my list for sure. Or you can even do it for coaches. Like, hey, if you're put the pads on for one day, what coach do you want to line up against?
Right. It's like I remember we asked, this is going to date it a little bit, right, Bryce? But like the Oklahoma drill, the old school Oklahoma drill, it was always like, who are you picking?
For sure.
I remember doing that as a kid.
That was the best drill. I'm sorry they took it out of football. It was the best drill ever.
Part of the deal. All right, now heading into the season, we were discussing too. Like this offseason was a little different for you. Take us through it, Bryce, if you could. Like take fans through the process of instead of getting ready for football on a shortened timeline, now you have a little more time this year.
I did, man. No baseball. It's like the first time I haven't played in 20 years, my entire life almost. So it was a little bit of an adjustment for sure. But like I said, I got more time to lift with the football team. I mean, I did a whole football off-season training, put on 10 pounds, I'm the strongest I've ever been. Body feels great. So it's just a different training dynamic. Like I said, I was still hitting in the cages, went out to Florida for spring training for a little bit because I still, I still love baseball and I miss it. But, the reason I came back was for this team and this football season. So it's where my mindset's been set this whole off-season and now it's go time, so I could be more excited.
So do you feel different? Like how different is it?
It's a lot different. Like I was even watching film from last year and the year before. I'm like, man, I just look little.
Really? You felt that way?
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it back then, I was like, obviously I was playing good ball still, and I didn't feel that. But now that I'm bigger now and stronger, I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I stayed for another year and got to do this because I feel really good.
That's amazing. I mean, because it's one thing to say, you're training for different sports and it's different. But, you've experienced it. Not many people have experienced it. And I was curious did you have anyone to talk to about that, like throughout the process of, I'm getting ready for 2 sports. What's this like? I mean, I don't know. Who'd you lean on throughout all this?
To be honest, it was just kind of a learning curve. Like it was kind of my own learning curve. Like I would talk with our strength coaches. I'd talk with Love and old strength coach, Coach Shad, and, Daryl, just to kind of like see what would be the best for my body. But it was mostly just trial and error. I was just kind of like, put on some weight for football, take some off for baseball, and go play the game and play good, and wherever my body felt the best at for that season, and that's kind of just what I'd roll with,
Yeah. So if you were to participate in a home run derby now because you're in football shape, the amateur in me says, so you'd hit the ball further, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true.
Okay,
it's
all right.
True. I do. I'm not I haven't done I've stayed somewhat fluid. Like I'm not as fluid as I was when I was a little smaller, but I was crushing baseballs when I've been hitting recently, so it feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's got to be fun. Bryce Boettcher with us, getting ready for the season. Okay, so you've been through this, Bryce. I mean, what advice do you give to guys who are going to go through camp for the first time? What do you tell them heading into the start of camp on Wednesday?
Just one day at a time. One day at a time, and if you love football, it's going to be a great time. Yeah. People have this idea of camp, and it's like, oh, it sucks. But yeah, you're at the field for a long time, and it's a month of nothing else besides football, but that's what you're here to do.
Sure.
You're here to play football, and if you really love football, I mean, I love camp. I mean, obviously there's some days where you're hurting and you got blisters all over your feet, and it's like, damn, but that's part of the experience. You know what I mean? It's fun.
Well, and I gotta say, I'd imagine that for you all, it's pretty fun when you're not in class. Like, you can really focus
for sure
on football, right?
For
and
sure.
For the freshmen, I imagine that's was that actually the biggest adjustment for you, was learning the time management, when you look back on younger Bryce?
Yeah, it's definitely time management. Like, you think you have time to go home and do this and do other things, but once you really realize that, okay, this has got to be my schedule, I have to stick to this, I can't be doing anything outside of football right now, it really just frees up your mind, frees up your day, and you have more time than you think when all your focus is football.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact. So
what are you excited about for this year?
What am I excited about? I'm excited about our team, Joey. Just we're young, we got a lot of energy, and so it's the connection is great too, but we're out on the field, I can just feel it. Whereas last year, obviously we had a lot of experience, a lot of returners. Obviously we're a very talented team, but I feel there's something to be said when you're older, you're not necessarily excited to go out and prove something because you feel you've already proved it, or football's not as fresh, so it's just another day. But when you have a bunch of young dudes out there or new guys that haven't proved anything, the energy's really high.
Sure.
Granted, you got to tone guys down a little bit sometimes, and discipline is a little bit of an issue at times. But more.
You'd rather that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd rather say slow down than speed up.
Yeah.
And that's the energy I'm getting right now. So I'm excited to put the pads on and figure out, who's going to be dudes for us this year. Should be fun.
That's cool. All right, I could talk to you for hours, but I know Kenyon Sadiq, he's ready to roll in. What should I ask Kenyon when he comes in?
What should you ask Kenyon? You should ask him what his weightlifting program is and what he eats.
Okay.
Because that dude, I thought I had a pretty good offseason transition. That dude is next level. So
all right.
Let me know what he says.
I will. Bryce Bcher, 2-sport star. Hey, we're glad to have you back,
Appreciate
Bryce.
you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get a timeout. When we come back, Kenyon Sadiq on his way in to the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider. It's presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're in the Country Financial Studio. Joey Mack and Kenyon Sadiq now joining us. First time in the studio. So I had to make sure because I thought, God, a guy like Kenyon who's done so many interviews and you've had this production on the field and now he's been through Big Ten Media Days. He's represented the program and first time in the studio. What do you think?
It's great.
What do you think? You like it?
Yeah, I like the decorations.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here, a lot of history in here.
Yeah, we tried to basically make like the man cave that we weren't allowed to have in our houses.
Yeah,
and
it gives that feel.
I think we got there. Okay, so we do have a tradition that I'm hoping nobody warned you about. You have to tell us your 2-minute life story the very first time that you come into the studio. So, it's your story.
Okay, 2 minutes?
The goal is as close to 2 minutes as possible. So, if you go at 2.5, fine. You go 1.5, fine, but as close to 2 minutes as possible, and it's your life story, wherever you want to take it. You ready?
Yep.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
All right. So, grown up, born and raised, Idaho, small town, McCammon. Great people, super small population. I'm talking like 1,000 people. Okay. And then I moved up to Idaho Falls, getting to more like high school time to play some football up there, and had some family up there. So, moved up there. Football's kind of always been the itch for me. Played about every sport growing up and then transitioned to football as, kind of started to excel in that. Recruitment was very late. I just didn't really know about recruitment, like camps, all that stuff. So it started off a little late. Started getting offers about end of my junior year, rolling over into senior year. Committed right before my senior year. Rolled up to Oregon. Loved it ever since. Go Ducks. It's been great. Been fortunate to sit behind some great tight ends. Learned a lot. Love the coaching staff here, everything about it. So, and then here we are going into junior year, hopefully accomplish some great things.
53 seconds.
Oh,
Efficient.
A little quick, but
that's good. Hey, so I said this to Poncho. Poncho did like 1:25 today.
Okay.
Once you have, a very successful NFL career, then it gets harder to get it into 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was just trying not to make like a whole documentary of what Kenyon Sadiq did. So.
I mean, you can. It's your 2 minutes, whatever you think. So I have multiple follow-ups now, as you can imagine. If you weren't playing football, what would you be playing?
Ooh, I did play basketball. I can never really. My shot developed after I quit playing. I know that sounds crazy, but I go to the rec now. I can shoot the ball. Before I was just like a mini Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean? Go get some rebounds.
Hey, you gotta have that guy on your roster, though. You gotta have that guy. So I'm glad that you said that because a common question that I will ask student athletes is, okay, what's the starting 5 basketball team from the Oregon football roster?
Ooh.
And your name has come up.
Really?
Others have brought you up as somebody they want in their starting 5.
Yeah.
Do you have a starting 5?
Oh, now that Pat and Ferg. I would have had Pat and Ferg there, but they're gone. I have to go maybe Kyler Casper.
Yeah.
That's a common one.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I played with Dink a couple of times. Dink can play.
Okay.
Who else do we got defensively? Maybe I heard Kingston's really good.
Okay.
Or layup wise.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about shooting.
Look, you got to fill different roles,
Yeah. I'm trying
with you.
Who are some pure shooters? Maybe Jerry's ego's going to go through the roof. I'm going to say Jerry. I really don't want to say Jerry, but that's all I got at the top of my head.
Okay. I like it. So the reason I ask you that question is I've asked this now for like a decade, and there's always tight ends on the roster.
Versatile.
You are versatile. Like I think your position group would win the basketball pickup game.
Oh, yeah. If we play position group by position group, tight ends take it by If we could play on a bracket, tight ends take it, no doubt.
Yeah, so
go tight ends.
It's always tight ends.
It really is. It really is. Like I said, versatility. We have height. We have speed. We could shoot the ball. No, I could maybe just go full tight ends for the full 5.
You probably could.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. Now, I have said, I'm curious if you agree, that the tight end position has changed the most in college football in the last 20 years.
100%.
And in football in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you're thinking about what your position is, what it does, like, what would you tell a young tight end who's listening and watching to this, like, this is how to be a good tight end today? Because I feel like the list is just like unfurl a scroll, and that's a tight end.
Yeah. First thing, just get ready to do it all. I mean, seriously, run game, pass game, you have to know everything, whether it's protection all the way through the route tree. Especially in today's game where, as a tight end, you can really play any position from, X to Z. So just knowing what to do and doing it well. It takes a lot of repetitions, and our coach do a good job of that, getting us through it. But like I said, just really just being a smart guy. That's tight end. It's going to take you a long way, a really long way, just knowing what to do and, like I said, doing it well.
And you mentioned learning from guys that have been around, that I know, like Pat and Ferg, they would be on that basketball team.
100%.
But also, you said that, like, you've learned from those guys. What are some of your big takeaways from those guys over the years?
Both those guys are incredibly smart when it comes to the game of football. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway from my perspective, just watching them, whether it's the film room or on the field, the decisions they make, like I said, on and off the field, I've learned so much from. And then on the game as well, I mean, they're both phenomenal players.
Yeah. I come back to, for the tight ends, you all are similar to O-linemen in the selfless nature of your position. Like, do you find that's just like an inherent trait with your position group in general, with you, maybe even as a person?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. As a tight end, we say it all the time, you have to get in and do the things no one else wants to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whatever the coaches say, I mean, you're going to end up doing it. You better do it with 100% effort.
Yeah. You've worked with Coach Maringer now for a while. Tell fans what that's like, and what's Coach Maringer like for you all?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best. He's gonna push you for sure. No, but Maringer's himself, and that's all that you can ask for. I mean, he's a great coach. Like I said, he pushes us, but he also teaches us a lot. Not about just the game of football, about any fact you want to know. I bet Maringer knows it. So, Wordle, he's gonna beat you at Wordle.
He'll beat you at Wordle.
You have no shot at Wordle.
Okay.
Those type of games, but on top of that, he's just a great guy.
All right, now you've given me a tip for when about once a year, I talk to each assistant coach for the show, and I'm going to ask him now about Wordle.
Yeah, Wordle. What are some other? I don't know. All the New York Times games.
He'll play all of them.
He's pretty good.
Okay. Well, Wordle developed by a U of O grad, so
okay,
we got that going for us. It's a good connection.
Yeah.
Good connection. Kenyon Sadiq joining us. All right, I was told that I should ask you about your weightlifting and nutrition plan over the off season. You're starting to smile as I'm saying that. So, what was the weightlifting and nutrition plan in the off season for you this year?
Well, main goals were just clean up the diet, increase calorie intake and protein intake. So consists of a lot of ground beef, steak, chicken, all those red meats I could get, a lot of rice, just straight carb loading, and then an insane amount of protein shakes.
Really?
Yeah, like probably four a day at least. Really? Not little protein shakes. I was struggling a little bit there, but no, a couple guys I know, like Noah, started doing it. For anyone out there, the best thing you can do, trying to gain weight, not trying to lose weight, is just drinking a protein shake before bed.
Really?
I stand by that. Yeah, eating a protein bar, and before you go to bed, just drink a huge protein shake, and it helped me so much.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
See, and this is the kind of stuff too. Like I'm always amazed at the level of dedication it takes off the field.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
very true.
And I don't know. Can you put that into words now? Like I would consider you a veteran. Like you've been through this now. Can you put that into words for people, like, to understand what that's like in the life of a student athlete?
Yeah, I mean, off the field, it's just a total commitment. 1 to school, like you said, the student athlete, and then the 2 to your diet and just like staying true to it. I mean, just like not skipping a day is the hardest part, because you skip one, like we go on a break and you don't, eat or work out for a couple of days, and you come back feeling like a different person.
That's amazing.
It's really true. So, I mean, just sticking to it, the commitment and consistency is probably the biggest thing.
That's amazing. Kenyon Sadiq with us. Okay, now, what makes a successful camp? Again, you've been through this. What makes a successful camp?
I mean, going into each camp, I think it's important you have things you want to work on, whether it's, mentally, physically, those things. But just being able to check off those goals by the time camp, wraps up is successful in my opinion, and then just building chemistry with the teammates around you.
Okay. Now, the hardest hitting question that I will ask you.
Okay.
I'm curating my list of questions for Coach Lanning. So we do Coach Lanning on the Coaches Show every week. I won't tell him it came from you. What is a question that I should ask Coach Lanning this year?
Oh, well, what's like
anything?
I feel like there's a line here.
So I got to tell you. So, okay, I'll give you. Okay, so Bryce and Poncho both said that. They were like, well, that's the head man. Like, you got to be careful here, right? And I'm with you. I won't put you guys on the spot. I don't want to get you in trouble. Bryce said that he would want to know if Coach Lanning could put the pads on for one day, who would he go hit and what position would he play?
Oh, that's a really good question. Maybe I'll follow along those lines. Probably of which school he would have wanted to play for.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll go for that one.
All right.
That'd be interesting.
Well, I hope his answer is Oregon.
Right? You never know.
That's the hopeful answer. Yeah. So last year, the most interesting one that I got from a student athlete was they wanted to know how much his wife, Sophia, helps him with his fashion.
Oh.
And I thought that was an interesting
question. I wonder if he
question.
dresses himself.
Yeah. So now we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to find out. So if you think of anything, hey, in the next month or so,
okay,
just grab me at practice or after practice.
Yeah.
Don't want to get in trouble. Yeah. After practice, hey, ask him about this.
Okay. And I'll be thinking about it. I got a lot of time on my hands at fall camp, so.
All right. Kenyon Sadiq, hey, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You'll be back in the studio, I'm sure. All right, we're going to get time out. We're going to come back, wrap up our special Media Day edition of Duck Insider here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's Duck Insider, and it's presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Hey, my thanks to Kenyon Sadiq, Bryce Boettcher, Iapani, Poncho Lalulu. I did not know that Poncho was on his birth certificate. I only knew it as a true nickname. You learn something new every media day. We will have a ton of other student-athlete interviews on tomorrow's edition of Duck Insider. We're spending the afternoon just recording with a few different student-athletes, talking about all kinds of different things on media day. There's always a lot of excitement this time of year. You know, there's a chance for guys to prove themselves and be the next name that comes out of fall camp. And there's always a few every year that do that. And then guys that prove themselves, earn a starting spot, get some opportunities in the first game that's now within our sights. We're about a month away as fall camp gets underway. Kenyon Sadiq, though, I mean, you talk about somebody who has been through it and now has garnered a lot of attention and then handles it all the right way. Bryce Boettcher, a guy who's had this tremendous opportunity, gets a chance to come back. You know, and I think, too, about a guy like Poncho, who is sort of the embodiment of the culture, as we talked to Coach Lanning about at the beginning of this interview session today. You know, that's what this is all about, is for me at least. It's so fun to get to know the student athletes that you then get to root for. And, of course, you're going to root for them because they're wearing an Oregon uniform, but then you're also going to root for them because, in my case, I get to see them. You know, I know what they're all about and what they're after, and that's what makes this fun. Now, there's a ton of news going on around the University of Oregon and the athletic department, and I want to begin today in this final segment, our Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Cafe Yum restaurants throughout the entire Pacific Northwest. Every Monday and Wednesday, we hit you with your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Bill Dellinger, unfortunately, passed away. A memorial for Bill Dellinger, the legend of Oregon track and field, will be held at Hayward Field on Wednesday. Those unable to attend, there's a free stream available on Runner's Space. More details are on GoDucks.com, and we'll be covering and talking about that over the course of this week too. But celebrating the life, that's how I feel about these sorts of events. Really, you are celebrating the life of one Bill Dellinger. That's coming up on Wednesday. Volleyball media days are going on across the Big Ten. Trent Kirsten and his team will be featured on the Big Ten volleyball circuit, if you will, tomorrow. So stay in touch for that. And today, the volleyball TV schedule was announced. So head to GoDucks.com. We now have match times and TV selections for much of the Oregon volleyball schedule. Check out GoDucks.com for more info there. Tickets starting to become available. And some honors announced today. The voice of the Ducks and student athletes from football and women's soccer have been selected to receive the University of Oregon Athletics Department annual awards. Jerry Allen, the Order of the O honoree this year. That's awesome. Offensive lineman Michael De La Grange has been named the recipient of Leo Harris Award, and Sarah Peters, the Becky L. Sisley Award winner. More on that in the coming weeks. See you tomorrow.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive